I'm doing awesome. You're ready. It's definitely an honor.
By the way, is there a screen time how to win up Sunday?
You can take control of her.
No, I don't either. I'm sure we have it on Sunday, but it's weird. And then next year, it'll be what? Tuesday, something like that?
Something like that, yes.
Weird.
So, so I've actually just moved up here about almost a year ago, as a matter of fact, at the end of November. And actually, my younger brother living with me, he came up here with me about a month later. So this house that I moved into, there was nothing for rent in it, so I had to buy a house up here. And, well, fast forward a few months, just about 2 months ago, I actually had a female friend who had just broken up with her boyfriend. And basically, I said, hey, you know what? If you want, you can come to my house over the kids while you get all your stuff, and then go back and have to your mom or whatever it was. So she came over after she took off a few days later, and mind you, my house had to kind of go up some stairs, and then there's a screen door, a separate shop that's in the interior door. So as I'm walking into her car, I start getting some really bad feelings in my gut. You know, like something wrong.
Yes, you can
and so I walked her out, right? And I started feeling as I'm walking her to her car. I go in my house, not thinking nothing of it, right? So I sit down and I stare at the towards the door. And as I sit there, after a few minutes, I'm like, something's off, but didn't think nothing of it. So my brother, who I thought came home, his door for some, he doesn't open the actual body latch. He can open up the top latch, not the body. So as I see this door open, I'm thinking it's him because I hear the latch on the door kind of open. So I'm like, okay, he can't get in. Let me walk up to the door and let him in. But as I get up, I actually thought that something in my mind, trying to open the door. So I'm thinking in my head, maybe she forgot something, right? And as I go over to open the door starts closing. The outside door starts closing. So I'm like, oh, maybe my brother didn't see that, and I actually got to open the door. And mind you, he has this watch that looks kind of like the Michael Myers. You know, that was how he walks. And I'm like, dude, you have a Michael Myers walk, and he walks literally just like he does, right? So he has to walk down the stairs, and then as you walk towards the driveway, you can actually make a quick left to get to the front garage door. It's kind of weird up here how they have that, but you know, I figured I can probably see him before he walks to the garage door to get into the house. So I get to go downstairs, and I look around, I peek around the little corner there, and I don't see him. So I'm like, oh, this guy beat me to the house. So I go back in the house, and as I'm walking into the house again, I'm like, hey, bro, where you at? No answer. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I still have this gut feeling in my stomach. So I'm looking to the garage to see maybe he went to the laundry room. Nothing there. So I had to call my friend up. I'm like, hey, by the way, I want to know. It's going to sound strange I said, but did you have somebody follow you here? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I just had this feeling as I was walking into your car, and I was sitting here, and I just wrote down everything I just told you right now, George. And her mom, I with her to help her take the rest of the stuff like that at Clayton's house. Her mom noticed something was off with her, too. And as I'm telling her the story, her mom's asking, like, hey, what's different about it? Something is wrong with you. You know? And then her mom proceeded to, I guess, ask me, like, hey, what did you see? Because she must have heard me, like, kind of talking to her about it. And that tripped me out because I was like, how the heck does the mom know, like, what's going on? And I told her, like, hey, this is what I saw. And the first thing that she said is, like, was it gray, white, or black that you saw? The image of what you saw. And I'm like, look, I don't know exactly what I saw, but this is what I told her. I said, look, this is what happened. And I could have sworn it was your daughter at one point when I got up to open the door. So, long story short, she ended up coming over to the house, smudging my house. I'm not sure if you know what smudging is.
Yeah, what's safe, right?
Yes, correct. I didn't know that's what it's called at the time, but just like a week prior to that, which is kind of tricky, my friend from down in Billings, Montana, she had actually told me, like, hey, I just smudged my house. This is what happened. So that's how I just found out about it prior to this happening to me. So she comes over, smudges the house, and then she right before we were going to do the windows with oil, something told her, like, hey, tell Carlos to bless this house in his native tongue, which my native tongue, of course, is Spanish. And so I proceed to that. We get to the garage of the house, right? The same place where I thought I saw my brother might have gone into. And I kid you not, George, had I not felt this for myself and seen it for myself, I wouldn't have believed it, right? So we get to the garage, and she's telling me that you're going to see this thing appear to you, but I want you to open the door to the garage that goes to the front of the house. Because you're going to see this thing. And the moment that she blew out this last portion of where we thought the entity was, this entity, I don't know what it was. I cannot describe to you exactly what it was. This entity appeared and then left my house.
And it's been gone ever since?
And it's been gone since. We had to put salt around the house. I still have my windows blessed and
wow.
Don't take that off. But it was like one of the most, had I not seen this for myself, I would have never believed it in a million years.
I love it. That's a great story. Carlos, thanks. So I'm here in the cave in St. Louis. Tom's back in Los Angeles. And the calls go to L.A., and then he puts them on hold, and then I'm connected to his screen. So what I see is the person's name, the city, and the state, and I have the ability to answer the calls electronically, which is incredible technology. Tom's got up on the board right now, wildcard line, surprise. I have no idea what this is, so let's go to it. Hello there.
How dare you? You know who this is?
J.C. Webster III. I just heard your little promo announcement.
How dare you? And I had to call immediately. And George, it's an emergency situation.
What's the matter?
You've got Halloween on Sunday, the Lord's Day. Halloween, as you know, is the devil's birthday, George.
Well, I got to believe that this time I agree with you. Halloween on a Sunday should be a no-no. I finally agree with you on something, J.C.
Well, it's not far enough, George. Halloween has to be outlawed completely. It is a criminal holiday. You love it, of course.
Of
But
course.
it teaches the younglings to go and extort people. It's a threat. When they come to your door and they say trick or treat, they're threatening you for goods and services. If you don't give them over what they want, they could soak your windows, break your kneecaps, or burn your house down. It doesn't matter. They're criminal thugs. Why do you think the cities have been burning in America? It's because of Halloween, George. We train these children to extort criminals.
Do you give out anything for Halloween at all?
Absolutely not. Do not give out anything on Halloween at all, except a good verbal warning that you're going to burn in hell, you little terrorist.
Oh, my God.
Extort an old man. But you're worse than that for stealing $10,000 from me.
Did you ever find her, by the way?
No, but we're close, George. We're very, very close, and I have a feeling that you know of her whereabouts. I believe, here's the theory that's going around the compound. Cornelius is hiding her. That's who's got her.
I don't think it's him, but she has emailed us. I will tell you that.
It could be him. I don't trust that fella.
All right, J.C., enjoy yourself and check in with us on Christmas. I hope you'll be happier. Tom, Sexton Cleese, you really set me up on that one, kid.
So funny sometimes. Hey, but
Where's he been?
he's just working. He said he's working a lot. So we just haven't heard from him. They break your kneecaps for candy.
We call them little terrorists.
Hey, speaking of candy, that candy bar you're talking about is a Sky Bar.
That's it. That's it.
People have been calling like crazy, so they remember when you talked about that. So this one from Janet in South Carolina. Does Halloween make it easier to contact relatives that are deceased?
I don't think Halloween does, but if you have a good medium, you can probably contact the dead anytime you want. But I don't think Halloween does specifically. I've looked at Halloween as a fun time for kids. They go out and dress up and, do their thing. And
Have you ever been wanted to be contacted by someone, but you can't, or they haven't?
No, not yet. Did you ever see the movie It's Alive?
I do not.
In that movie, there is a very scary-looking baby. I have the replica of that baby. I want you to go online and look at the baby. You'll see what I'm talking about.
How do you have a replica of it?
It's like a little puppet. but it's weird. So I took it out today for a little bit before the show.
Yeah.
And people were running away from me. They were that scared.
Is it out there in Kennedy?
Kennedy's not a bad-looking little dog.
He scares people.
Where is he?
He's buried in a drawer in my office.
You've got this little mannequin dummy in a drawer?
It's one of those ventriloquist dummies that you put on your knee that somebody sent in.
If you open it up, it's going to come jump at you.
You never know.
Back to the calls we go. Let us go to James in Virginia. Welcome to the show. Hi, James.
Hey, George, and how are you tonight?
Great. Good to have you with us.
Oh, it's one of my favorite nights of the year, especially listening to Ghost to Ghost.
I love this season. Right into October, November, Christmas, New Year's. It's the best, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Especially in preparation for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll be live for you on the Christmas and all that stuff.
Well, my story began in 1960. I was 5 years old. We lived 30 miles north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My dad was a producer of radio shows. Well, back then when people listened to old-timey radio.
Oh, cool.
We had lived in a trailer park with 2 trailers. Back then, that's where most people lived. It was right after the war.
Yep.
Well, one night my dad had a dream. And a friend of his who had passed away 6 months before of a heart attack came to him in his dream and said he needs to buy his house. So Dad located the house, and it was only a small house. He later had built additions to it for the whole family. But he had bought the house, and the first night we were in there, my parents were out moving furniture with my 2 older brothers. I was 5 years old, my sister was 10, she was there alone with me, and we had our little baby brother about a little over a year old. The house was an L-shaped house. The front door opened into the middle of a hallway. And when you walk into the hallway to the right, at the end of the hallway was the bedroom, and to the left and around the corner was the living room. It was about 9 o'clock at night. My sister and I were sitting on the couch, just hanging out, waiting for Mom and Dad and my brother to come back with another load of items from the trailer park to move in. And the baby began to cry for his bottle. Well, being 2 kids, my sister said to me, give him his bottle. I argued that I'm not doing it, you could do it, and we started bickering. And then the front door opens, and it closes. And we said, Mom? Dad? No answer. High heel clicking going down to the bedroom. The door opens, the baby's crying got louder. And then the baby began to get quiet, and he started sucking on his bottle.
Oh, boy.
High heel clicking coming out of the bedroom. The door closes, comes down the hallway, up to his house, and nobody was there. I jumped in my sister's arms, crying, burying my head in her shoulder. She was burying hers in mine. My parents come home about 20 minutes later, and they walked in, Mom's in tennis shoes and blue jeans, and they wanted to know why we were crying. And we told them what happened. My dad said we were lying. And my mom said, well, I don't think the kids would just make up a story like that.
No, not if you're that emotional, too.
Oh, my gosh, no. Well, later we found out that the previous owner was into Satanism and witchcraft.
Oh, gee.
And later on, through the years, the personality of my dad changed from a happy man into an alcoholic and abuser.
Wow.
It's like the house and him became one. And Dad called the house the halfway house between this world and the next.
That entity got to your father somehow.
Many entities, not just one.
And how did you, once you finally got out of there, was it okay?
No. It continued. When I was 18, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but I became a Christian.
But it followed you?
No, actually, all hell broke loose. Light cannot coexist with darkness, and it turned my life upside down in a good way. It opened my eyes to what really was in that house.
How about your dad? Did he change?
No. Later on, in 1985, my dad came down with cancer.
Oh gosh, that's a horrible ending to that story, to be sure. James, thank you. Ghost to Ghost continues.
They break it up with to sleep. Ghost and bad is the one that stirs his head. The awful, he's the worst. That's why he's hard on Halloween night. There they go, the jogging across the land, holding noggin in his hand. Demon takes one look and groan, and they hit the road. The prophet knows. Beware, take care, he rides alone. And there's ghosts spook like spooked fur. They don't like him and he really burns. It swears to the longest day he's dead. He's sure that he can get ahead. They say he's tired of his flaming cop.
KFI, news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks. I'm Andrew Carabella from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A paraglider has been seriously hurt in San Jacinto. The Riverside County Fire Department says the paraglider lost control and crashed into the hills above the Saboba Indian Reservation around 12:30 Friday afternoon. Rescue crews had trouble getting to the man, so a helicopter was used to airlift the guy from the area. Riverside County has reported what may be its first recorded case of hantavirus in a human. Officials say the person may have been exposed to deer mice droppings or urine in the Whitewater area near Palm Springs. Symptoms of hantavirus usually come on 1 to 6 weeks after exposure. They include fever, headache, and muscle aches before progressing to severe difficulty breathing. Some cases are fatal. And taking a look at your KFI weather, mid to upper 60s at the beaches, low to mid 70s for Metro LAOC, upper 70s in the valleys, and around 80 for the Inland Empire. We lead local. From the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Andrew Caravella.
Crash in Diamond Bar on the eastbound side of the 60 before the 57 is in the middle lane. Sketchy change back to about Lennon Avenue. We also have had a crash in Brea on the southbound side of the 57 before Brea Canyon Road. That's been in the right lane, so watch out for some sudden slowing to come up on that. In Stillmar, all lanes remain shut down on the 210 eastbound between the 5 and Polk. It's Caltrans work until around the top of the hour. And Westminster, all lanes shut down on the southbound side of the 405 as well. Golden West to Beach Boulevard until around 6. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Sabucky.
Is finding the right candidate slowing you down? Cut straight to Your Hired with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. To find your next great hire, visit Indeed.com/credit.
As a Hall of Fame running back, Eric Dickerson knows a winner when he sees one.
That's right. The all-new, all-electric F-150 Lightning is truly unbeatable.
That's because it comes with a Pro Power onboard generator that can power your home, your job site, or your next big tailgate.
Sounds like another winner by Ford F-Series.
You heard it here first. Reserve your 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning today at buyfordnow.com.
And visit your Southern California Ford dealer. Tell them ED sent you.
Hey, Drew, do you know what's really spooky during Halloween? What, Dad? Your old mattress. Because after 8 years, an old mattress can collect sweat and dead skin, creating the perfect environment for dust mites.
Yeah. Plus, laying on the same mattress for 8 years creates tremendous wear and tear, making it harder to get the comfort and support you need.
So if your mattress is overrated, it's time to replace during Sit Sleep's fall sale, where you can save $1,000 on select mattresses from Beauty Rest, Kingstown, and Sealy.
Plus, get a $300 gift with purchase with any Tempur-Pedic. And with your good credit, pay 0% financing for 12 months with your minimum monthly payment.
And only Sit and Sleep has bed match technology that scientifically recommends the level of support that's right for your shape and size. So this Halloween season, quit sleeping on your scary old mattress.
Trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep during our fall sale for dreams that are sweeter than a pumpkin spice latte.
That sounds good, Drew. How about I buy you one with extra whipped cream?
Thanks, Dad.
As usual, this year for Halloween, I'm going to dress up as a devil. A handsome devil. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco. Number 5.
Halloween freebie. Rewards members get a light-up pumpkin necklace on Halloween.
Number 4.
Trick, treat, win. Load up on candy and win up to $300 in free slot play when you earn 100 points on your rewards cards the 31st.
3.
Baseball's biggest games on big screen. The whole world will be watching, and so will you at Morongo.
And the number 2.
Entertainment is back. Gypsy King, November 5th. Robin 6, November 13th.
And the number 1 reason.
Rob Lowe, Keith Sweat, and Clint Black all this year. Go to MorongoCasinoResort.com to check out the full lineup.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good times.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's Cars for the Cat. Pick up, it's quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction. Donate your car for kids.
Also accepting real estate donations.
Your life, your hope, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., it's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. Line at 818-501-4109. The first time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll-free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Ghost to Ghost AM with George Norrie.
On our next Coast to Coast program, Lisa Garr will be with you talking about magic and witchcraft. And then on Sunday, Halloween night, Connie Willis will be here with some UFO stories. And she's got Don Boast with us. Don played Ralph in Happy Days, and he'll be talking about some fascinating hauntings that he has encountered. So make sure you're part of the program. We're going to come back with more final Ghost to Ghost calls. But first, let's talk about Beyond Belief with Tom.
Well, you know, if you head over to beyondbelief.com, you will see not one, but three free episodes that we posted for you. You can also take advantage of the free 7-day trial. That'll get you access to over 400 shows that we've done. So check it out when you have time. It's beyondbelief.com.
And, of course, YouTube is a great channel for us, and it's free to subscribe to that.
We have almost 500,000 subscribers. You think about that. That's a big number.
We're getting there.
And you can listen to the first hour of recent and past shows. This is all for free. All you need to do, head over to coasttocoastam.com, the website, go up to the top, hit the little YouTube icon, and boom, you are there.
In you go. And here's something for you to kind of de-stress yourself.
If you feel stressed, suffer from fatigue, moodier than usual, or would like to fall asleep easier and sleep more soundly while losing weight, do we have something for you? Accelerate and Elevate. I take Elevate Performance Supplement in the morning for energy and laser focus for work. Then before bed, I take Accelerate, weight management and sleep combo. And indeed, I now sleep soundly through the night. Plus I'm losing weight. It's amazing.
I've maybe gotten 4 to 5 hours of sleep max a night. I'm sleeping between 6 and 7. I wake up to use the bathroom, but I go right back to sleep, which has never happened before, which is pretty awesome.
I noticed a higher level of happiness. I also noticed that I wasn't taking naps. I had more energy. I was more in the moment with my kids. Like, we were laughing more. We were more excited. Every single person needs to feel this.
I lost 10 pounds and 5.5 inches off my waist, and I'm so proud of myself. It gives you energy. It helps you sleep better. It just works. I stand by it 100%.
I was on a handful of medications to help me sleep, to help me be happy, tons of therapy. When I'm ready to go to sleep, I'm getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. I've lost some pounds, inches mainly. My family has me back.
Try Accelerate and Elevate, discounted for listeners to the show. Plus, further discounts with the George's Power Pack, including a free gift. Learn more and order now at healthylooking.com. That's healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. So jump on the path now to all-day energy, better focus,
better sleep, and weight loss with Accelerate and Elevate at healthylooking.com. That's healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Dealing with car repairs can feel like a lose-lose situation, but ever since I called CarShield, their administrators handle the expensive payments and paperwork, so I don't have to. It's a win-win. I get to pick my favorite mechanic to do the work, and CarShield's administrators take care of the rest. Plans from CarShield even provide roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement at no additional charge. Get coverage today and see why CarShield cars go farther. Visit carshield.com/Nori to save 10%. A deductible may apply.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temple Scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Millions of Americans are preparing for food shortages. No wonder, with increasing bizarre news headlines, water shortages, and the trucking crisis, we're seeing the early warning signs. Food shortages can happen overnight, catching you completely by surprise. That's why it makes good sense to secure some emergency food kits while you can. Emergency food that stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage, unlike grocery store food that goes bad fast. The company to trust is My Patriot Supply. We've served millions of American families in recent years. Our food kits give you over 2,000 calories a day, which is what your body needs under stress to survive. We ship fast and discreet to your door. You'll have your food within days, too, not weeks or months. Our mission is your survival. Our food could definitely be a lifesaver when the peanut butter hits the fan. So don't wait. It's time to act. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Trick or treat. Happy Halloween, everyone, from Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
I miss her. The late Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She gave us that several years ago, but lives on forever, doesn't it? Anyways, our final segment with Ghost to Ghost. I hope you've been enjoying yourself, but we still have more calls to go. Let's go to Peter in Vermont. Welcome to the show. Peter, thanks for holding.
Likewise, thanks for putting me on the air. I really appreciate this opportunity to let you know how I experienced my situation with the ghost. And listening to all the other stories, George, is very interesting, especially that story with the hospital in Texas.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. What do you have for us, Peter?
Okay, well, I used to live in a townhouse situation. There was probably about 4 townhouses put together, so they had pretty thin walls in terms of noise. Could go from one unit to the other. At any rate, it was late in the morning, or early at night, or early in the morning, late at night, rather, I apologize. And I was probably listening to Coast to Coast. And I was just, doing my thing.
Sure.
And the next thing I noticed was somebody, what would appear to be somebody or something, walking upstairs. And when I, turned my eyes to first I saw it out of my peripheral vision. When I looked up the stairs, it looked like an old grandmother walking up the stairs kind of slowly. Didn't seem offensive, didn't seem, scary or anything like that to me. Probably because I've listened to a lot of Coast to Coast.
She might have, yeah.
And so that was strange, right? I had never really experienced a ghost before in my life, and I was very convinced that that's exactly what it was, but I had no idea what the correlation was. The only time I'd ever seen anything similar to that was when my grandmother passed, rest in peace, and I kind of experienced her spirit kind of vacating the apartment house. So prior to that, I'd never experienced anything of a ghost situation. So suffice to say, the next morning, or a few days later, I spoke with my neighbor. And I had asked her because I had been renting this townhouse for about 3 or 4 years at that time. And I didn't contact my landlords, but I did speak with my neighbor who's lived in this complex. It was probably built in the mid-'80s. And so this was around 2013 or so. So the complex has been around for 30 years or so. And I spoke with her, and I asked her if my landlords, my tenants, if my landlords rather, had purchased the house from someone who had passed away. And so she said no, and she asked why. And I said, well, the other night I experienced what I am convinced was a ghost of an older woman, walking up the stairs. And she looked at me as if she had seen a ghost. She told me that she had purchased her townhouse from an older woman who had passed away. And so she was completely flipped out and freaked out.
Might have been the same lady, huh?
What's that?
Well, it might have been the same old woman.
There's no question that's what we thought. And so with the walls being so thin, right, with noise and sounds going through the walls pretty easily, like, she would hear me listening to Bob Marley, and she's like, you got to turn that down. Those guys are too loud. So, we figured that the apparition slipped through the walls. So in the subsequent days, I decided that it would behoove her, the ghost, if that was what was going on, to see if I could help suggest and encourage her to transition and move on in the most loving, in the most positive, beneficent manner that I could. And I think I managed to accomplish that. Never experienced her or anything like that in the townhouse ever again. And so that was my hope, that I was able to accomplish that, that goal, which was to help her transition. Because, we've read and heard over and over that sometimes that these are people who don't have the direction.
They don't know how to cross over.
Not totally, convinced that they're able to do it. Maybe they're scared. Those kinds of things.
Sounds like you helped her out, Peter. Good job, to be sure. Let's go to Christopher in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hi, Christopher.
Hello, George. It's been another whole year since I've been on the show.
It went by that fast, huh?
Oh, it certainly has.
Well, welcome.
So, tonight I want to retell a story regarding chrysalis, the succubus that has been possessing my body for several years now, ever since I was in high school. So, when I was in high school, I was about a senior at the time. I was going out with this really sweet girl. I won't name names for sake of privacy.
Sure.
One day, it was about around maybe November, and I went over to her house to, watch the movies, spend time with her. And when I was there, I kind of had like a very strange little sensation going on. And, well, we went downstairs where she had her TV set up so we can watch some scary movies. And then there was some point where I had blacked out. And at that point, I'm almost certain that that's when chrysalis took over. And according to my girlfriend, what she said to me, chrysalis, walked to one of the corners of the basement and started talking.
Like you're in your sleep or something.
Yes, like I was talking to someone, but I had no recollection of what was supposed to be said, it's actual word for word. And then about an hour had passed, and I came back, so I was at a deep sleep. And chrysalis told me when we got home later that she had spoke to someone who is in that basement. And that person was dressed in a U.S. Army uniform.
Huh.
She said that spirit told her that he wanted to convey a message to my girlfriend's family, saying how much pain he was in, how he was sorry for leaving. And then sometime later, after me and my girlfriend had broken up, chrysalis told me that I have to look up my girlfriend's name online, and I did. And I saw a small obituary of her father.
Oh my gosh.
And it turned out her father was a soldier, and in a few years after he came home, he had committed suicide.
Oh, but that's the one who came back.
Evidently so. But I never had the courage to tell my girlfriend's family the message that her dad's spirit gave to Crystal.
To this day, you have not told them?
No, I haven't spoken to her. I have lost contact with her.
And it's not easy. It's, look, I think your father's trying to contact me because, the first impression is they're going to go, what are you trying to do here? But that's a great story, Christopher. Great story indeed. Let's go to Alan in Ontario in Canada. Welcome to the show. Hi, Alan.
Hi, how are you, George? And before I tell you my story, you had a guest on a few years ago, Fiona Horn. She's a witch.
The witch.
She wanted me to say hello.
The good witch.
She wanted me to say, she wanted to say hello to you and Tom. So,
great.
Yeah, you kept in touch. So my story, I'm going to take you back to the year 2000. I was living in Oakville, Ontario with my family. And the story starts, I was in my hot tub one evening, and I used to keep the kitchen sliding door open because my two dogs were coming in and out of the house. So I was sitting in the hot tub, and I watched this 2-foot oar come down the side of the house and went in through the kitchen sliding door. And I thought that was a little weird, but, didn't think much more about it. And then shortly thereafter, the whole paranormal activity in our house, and I'll describe a little bit because I think it provides some context. So you go upstairs, master bedroom is on the left-hand side. You walk down the hall around the corner to the guest room. And then my daughter's room is at the very end of the hallway, and my son was on the left-hand side. So they would sleep at night, my son would keep his door closed, and she would, my daughter would keep it open. So this one night, started with my son, this ghost which we call Smiley. Mid-20s, blonde hair. He puts his torso right through my son's door. So he's looking at my son and smiling at him in his bed from the hallway.
With an evil type smile?
It was, it was a little bit of an epilogue. My daughter, because I talked to her today, she had a sinister smile on his face. He was mischievous, right? So he was happy, but it was a mischievous smile. And then for my daughter, he just staring at the door. He didn't go into the room. He wouldn't go into my son's room. But he stayed outside the two doors from my room. So we get up the next morning, and my son, we told the story about this ghost who put his torso through his door, smiling at him. And then my daughter says that I saw the same guy. And so the two of them collaborated the story.